365, we making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
And welcome everybody to Real Talk. And in real time, the Washington Wizards have selected Johnny Davis, guard from Wisconsin. We got ourselves a guard.
Because y'all gonna be losing a guard.
Watch yourself. Keep all that negative energy up there. Where you at? Because we trying to hold on to ours here. Another light skin young brother. So Wizards are on the board, and who's your team?
I'm a Lakers fan in the NBA.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm a Lakers fan. You haven't even been to LA?
Yeah. Wait, I've been in one of the my wife had took me to a Laker game a couple years ago. That's where we got engaged at also. It was one of Kobe's last year.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Hey man, I got pictures and everything, Doug. You know, I mean, you can go on my Instagram. You know, I send it to you if you want me to.
Nah, you good. I'm giving you a hard time. But we are live here. Going to be recapping the draft, obviously, as it goes on. Any picks or trades that come up, we would definitely be reporting them. And it should be a busy night based on all the talk and chatter around Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, and LeBron James, and the Warriors, and he got his list of teams. What do you think? Where does Kyrie end up?
I would love to see Kyrie in LA, of course. You know what I mean? But yeah, I wouldn't mind having Kyrie.
With the way people have been killing him, and you know the potential inconsistency in his availability.
Hey, but when he's with LeBron, he got the chip to prove it, though. You know what I mean? All that inconsistency, was out the window when he was matching LeBron 40+ points in the playoffs. Also,
that is valid.
I believe it will be a good fit. My only question is now, if that happens, what do you do with Russ?
You got to get Russ out of there.
Right, but now do you go ahead and dump him anywhere? To anybody that wants to take him, or any deal that you feel that's right there that is suitable, or do you try to find him a good landing spot?
I mean, I think you're limited because of the contract. The contract makes it tough.
Yeah. Most definitely.
And who can afford to eat that money? But he obviously gonna want to go somewhere where he can be a starter. So I think the options are limited when you look at teams that need a starting point guard that can give you back some kind of comparable talent. I look at a team like potentially the Knicks, and they need to move Julius Randle. I don't know how Julius, LeBron, and AD necessarily fit. Somebody got to play center, but I think
I don't see Julius back in LA.
But you don't want to trade for a guard if you bring Kyrie in. So
yeah, but I just don't see Julius coming back to LA though.
I don't know. You gotta who making a lot of money at
because now you not only bringing in Julian, you would have to bring in a boatload of stars almost. You would have to bring in like a Julian, an Evan Fournier if he's still on that team. Maybe a Cam Reddish.
I mean, now Tibbs don't like Reddish anyway.
It fits us, Tibbs. I don't know why he don't like Reddish.
If you say they gotta move Reddish,
I don't understand why he don't like Reddish. Reddish is a young, good player. Coach right and put in the right system. Sky's the limit for that guy, but. It just seems like Atlanta couldn't find the right spot for him. Tibbs don't like him. So, hey, we'll take him. Bring him to LA. Good bench player. He might turn out to be like an Andrew Wiggins.
Whoa.
I said Mike.
You said you're talking all-star Andrew Wiggins? You talking world champion Andrew Wiggins?
I'm talking that. I told y'all my X Factor Andrew Wiggins, man. Y'all lucky that I was not able to come on the show that on last week talking about that, boy. My man, I told y'all, as long as Andrew Wiggins showed up, that the Warriors just had absolutely the best game. And my prediction came true.
No, you definitely called it. I have nothing to say. You were right. But I will tell you, I also thought that the Warriors would win, but I didn't want to jinx it. And it was too high of a stakes for me to mess it up. I'm just telling you what it is. My wife is a Celtics fan, and she would have been insufferable. Why it all worked out.
So why did you hop on Boston bandwagon, Ray?
I hopped on Boston's bandwagon because I got brainwashed. They took advantage of me in a weak time when Phoenix had let me down and they were playing well. They got rid of Kevin Durant, who was apparently the most
Kenny.
wanted man again. Kenny with the
what's this man talking about?
He giving me his sob story why he was talking about, oh, I knew the Warriors was going to win. And I'm sitting here thinking like, well, why would you choose Boston? And now he's talking about, oh, I was brainwashed. You know, I was on the episode of Get Out. You know, they stirred the tea.
Racial dominance was wrong. It's okay.
Hey, it happens once in a blue moon. So, I'll take it. I'll take it. And just like I was saying before, we'll get a chance to see the greatest point guard ever next year. Try and repeat. So that'll be a fun time. But Kenny, we're glad to have you on. Mike, shout out to you. We'll get to do this some more tomorrow. So I hope you're ready. We do a fast break Fridays at 10. So we'll definitely be covering the draft and things like that. But Wizards are off and running. And Kenny, before we kind of get into some of the other stuff, the Knicks just picked. So what was the pick? Think?
I'm trying to get set up in here, so I missed it.
Ousmane Dieng from but apparently he's gonna get traded to I think they're gonna they're trading to the Thunder.
For who?
I don't know. I don't see it here and I can't hear it. But it looks like they're covering it right now. It looks like they said they're gonna trade him to the Thunder. But the Thunder are about the draft, so maybe they swapped picks.
They're flipping? But that makes no sense. If they're right behind you, why would you trade with them?
I have no idea.
Don't get me mad, man.
Oh, you a Knicks fan, Kenny?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So we'll see. As that if they could put it on the screen or something. We'll figure out what just happened there. But the Lakers, how many picks? Y'all bought a draft pick today. So that's cool. So yeah, with that being said, we can get into obviously the huge news. I think we talked about it on this pod not too long ago, the Deshaun Watson situation. And I have been pretty consistent in my perspective on this. And I feel like it was significantly validated by him settling 20 out of the 24 cases. And
why do you say that, though? Why do you say it was validated?
Because I think this was a money grab.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, like I think that these women knew what they were coming for. There's too many holes to me. Did y'all take the money? Did you give the money back? Why did nobody, not a single person, file a criminal charge? Not a single person called the police. Like, I just have a lot of doubt But I think they got what they wanted. I think it made his life significantly easier. They're still talking about him getting a year potentially, which I just think is crazy in my opinion.
Yeah,
but
I think that's excessive.
But we're here, and we'll talk about it in a minute. There's some other similar stuff going on in Washington, and then Robert Kraft got basically he just flew under the radar. I'm sorry?
A slap on the wrist for getting his freak on.
So I believe Watson's situation is more of that. And I think it's hard for regular people to understand what it's like to be that rich, young, and successful. And it just, when people talk about how crazy, like 60 women over the course of like 17, 18 months, I forget the time frame. Do you know how many women normally these men may be with at that age, with that status and that capability? I'm not condoning the behavior.
But it's a little different then. It would have been different if they were just, this was he was having these massages. That's what.
So Kenny, in your opinion, these professional women were getting flown out to private hotel suites with, I'm guessing, they weren't running their own facilities. They weren't.
Oh, so they knew what you're trying to say? They knew what it was?
Come on.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson slid in my DMs and asked for a massage. He's gonna fly me out, and the team's paying for the hotel. A hotel, Kenny.
Like the only thing they couldn't agree on was the money. Deshaun, he tried to slide that 20. She was like, "No,
wasn't enough.
That's not enough, baby. It's supposed to be a 50." He was like, "Whoa, what's going on?"
But that's on him, though.
No, 100%. Like I agree with that. He botched this. And the other part, they were signing NDAs for a massage. Come on,
right. But I'm just saying that's what makes it. And again, to me, and we talked about this. I think that's why I think Houston has some culpability in this as well. He shouldn't be the only one getting punished.
If there's a punishment, I agree with you. If they were procuring the suites in the room,
exactly, you're an enabler.
Then it's one of those things where if you didn't know, you should have known.
Right.
So I agree that if punishment comes out, they got to get. I think
they was like, "Look, we're gonna do anything possible to take care of our star player. He need those massages with those happy ending at the end. Go ahead and give it to him.
Hey, if that's what's gonna happen, throwing 30 touchdowns and 2 picks,
find them out.
Nah, he was almost MVP that year. You know what I mean? It was like, just keep giving it to him.
So for
and
me,
now they got rid of it. They was like, "Oh no, we don't know nothing about that."
Everybody catching amnesia.
Yeah. So that's my 2 cents. I think there was a lot to do with it. I think the Browns knew more was coming, which is why they structured the contract. And that looks like a godsend, especially if he loses the whole year.
And also,
I think he has $1 million.
Why they haven't traded
Baker?
Baker.
Yeah, if he might end up, he better. The issue before was they needed a child an adult at quarterback.
Yeah.
So he has an opportunity here, in my opinion, to be an adult. You need a job because nobody is beating down the door to come get you.
100%.
Figure out how to make it work. Come in there, ball out, and parlay that into a payday because he's a free agent after this year. Mm-hmm. So you would do yourself a huge injustice to be bitter and butthurt and try and sit home or on the bench instead of trying to put better tape out there because the last tape of you is awful. So if it was
what I would do if I was Baker? I wouldn't do no more progressive commercials though. I ain't showing that stadium off no more.
Oh no! What is that, Baker's house? Yeah, you can't Baker's house.
Nope, it ain't Baker house. No, you gotta see it. Think he on a month-to-month lease right now because once Deshaun come on,
I hope he does land somewhere. I like Baker. I like him coming out of Oklahoma. I have been disappointed in what I've seen, but I think him and many other quarterbacks, Cam, Cap, deserve to be in the NFL and competing for jobs. So I think that option's available to him, but this is a heck of a humble.
He could definitely play in the league. I think the question is whether or not he's a number one, and then also, the fact that he was the number one pick. Like you're questioning whether or not that was, he deserved to be the number one pick.
But you got Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson in your draft. That's
what I'm saying.
That makes a difference.
Yeah, but you got to also think, right system will fit.
Oh no, that makes a difference.
You know what I mean? Because you can't just throw him on any team and be like, oh, he's going to succeed because of the pieces around him. Just because he had good pieces, because he had a good receiving core. He had 2 good receivers. He had 2 good tight ends. He had 2 good running backs. Mm-hmm. So it was
again. But you know what though, Dev, though? But that even more so puts questions behind him, because a lot of times we could say that the reason why quarterbacks aren't successful is because they don't have the pieces around them, or they don't have the system that's going to cause them to flourish. But he had everything. He had all the tools at his disposal
and a good defense.
And a good defense.
But you also gotta think though, the AFC North is not a slouch division.
Oh, no,
what I mean? It most definitely comes down to that last week to figure out who's going to be who coming out that AFC North. So, you got credit to that also, that division. But you also is right though. He had the pieces around him, except for that 1 year with what was that, Freddie Kitchener? I don't think that system fit. I don't think that system. He had the pieces, but that system.
That was definitely he was definitely not.
Freddie K wasn't there.
Yeah, he wasn't there. He was not a NFL head coach.
And Hugh was not a fan, so that is different.
Yeah, so that
I think he had a head coach every year, right?
I was going to say, to be fair,
pretty much, except for like these last 2 years.
Yeah, he hasn't had the stability until Stefanski came in. So those first couple of years you could kind of give him a pass on, but these last 2 years you cannot.
No, well, last year I think he more effed himself by playing hurt. I think if he would have sat out a couple games, and tried to heal, it might have been a different story for him. But him coming out there like 45%, 30%, and trying to sling it out there, knowing that your body can't even get you 20 yards of pass, you risking your injury more, and you risking your career more, because now they're going to everybody look at Matthew Stafford now of what he has done for the Rams, but everybody forgot when Matthew Stafford had he broke his shoulder that one game and thugged it out, and people don't never give him his credit of being a tough quarterback, and people forgot about that game. So hopefully Baker can turn it around. But like I say, like y'all say, he can play in this league. Right system, right fit for him. And hopefully, if Deshaun don't play this year, he don't be a big baby and say, no, I don't want to play, and let Jacoby Brissett go out there and show that right system, you can win. What I mean? Now you didn't gave Jacoby Brissett another opportunity to be a starter somewhere or a backup somewhere.
It's tough. So I know I said I hear analysts and people talking about a year. Kenny, you said that's excessive. So what do you think is a reasonable punishment at this point for Deshaun with what we know, assuming that they don't have resolution going into this season for the last 4 cases?
I think it's between 8 to 10 games. I think would be fair. I think you got at least half a season. He's got to sit out for, because if you gave Ben Roethlisberger 6 games, then you got to give him at least between 8 and 10. I think it would be a fair suspension. But again, I don't think that he should be alone in getting this punishment. But for him, I think it should be between 8 to 10 games. Definitely not the whole season, but between 8 to 10 games, because like I said, Roethlisberger, he had a situation with multiple women and multiple encounters or whatever the case was, and he got 6 games. So considering what I guess the large nature or the large amount of cases or issues and situations, I think that you got to give him between 8 to 10 games.
And so you're basing that on you believe Watson's actions were comparable to Roethlisberger.
Yeah, I think it's a comparable situation. Well, I shouldn't say comparable. I think it's more so because of the precedent. I think because what you did on the previous situation, where that situation involved potential sexual assault.
And there was, I believe, a police report, wasn't there?
There was an investigation. I don't think he was charged. Same situation, kind of where it was accusations of sexual assault and he wasn't charged. So that's why I said these are kind of similar in nature. But I wouldn't. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't give him the whole year because I think that's excessive. But I do think he does have to get a significant suspension. I will say that.
Dev?
I agree. And I think what's gonna pan out, what's gonna suck is he might have to live up to that year's suspension because Houston is not gonna get no penalty in it. You know what I mean? They're gonna try to make Deshaun Watson go down, by itself, right. Try to, set an example, and the owners is going to protect owners. So
what
I mean, and that's going to be the suck part. But I agree with Kenny. Somewhere around that 6 to 8 games will be a fair suspension because before all this situation, just Deshaun Watson was almost the face of the league. He was like maybe the next quarterback after Tom Brady, with a fade off into the sunset. Maybe Deshaun Watson can kind of, live up to him, especially if he can win more playoff games, get Houston, notice more, with winning and not with these stupid accusations. Deshaun was that guy. Everybody was looking up to. But now this situation is kind of tarnishes his name a little bit. It's like now, if he get this punishment, it's like, oh, all right, well, even if he do play a half a season, what expectations do we give him? Do we give the same Deshaun Watson that was almost MVP a couple years ago, or do we go ahead and be like, oh, that's just a season that he had to knock a year and a half rushed off, and he dealing with the situation, he had to learn a system. Are we going to pacify him? So it's just a lot with this whole situation, and 8 to 10 games, like Kenny said, 6 to 8 games is fair, but I just got the feeling he's going to have to do a whole year by himself because Houston's not going to take that charge with him.
Okay. So I'll answer this 2 ways. I'm going to answer with what I think will happen, and I'll answer with what I believe should happen. I think what's going to happen is I see a year, and he's either going to get a year off jump, and they'll let him appeal it, or they'll D-hop him where they give him anywhere from the 8 to 10 range and say, you can't appeal. With 17 games, that makes sense for me. But as far as how I feel, I said it before, like, I think he lost a year of playing already. I don't believe he didn't play last year because he just refused to play for Houston. I don't believe that was the case, or I don't think they would have paid him. I think they paid him to stay away, and there weren't enough
distraction.
They didn't want the distraction, but nobody was willing to give him the value, so they just sat on him. But he was in essence punished because of this. I don't believe if this didn't exist, he wouldn't have got traded last year. So although he didn't lose money, he lost playing time. When you talk about people of his talent, it's not. I mean, it's always about the money. But he was on pace to be a legendary quarterback of this generation. And that's been significantly derailed by missing, at minimum, he's going to miss a year and a half. I think that's guaranteed. I can't see anything less than 8 games under any stretch. So that's the part I really think is unfair. By all accounts, the teammates have welcomed him. The NFL community seemingly has welcomed him as far as the offseason stuff. He's still getting ingratiated into the community. So I think we'll end up in that. It'll be a conversation, and I think they'll do a year. I think they'll do a year, let him appeal it, and then they may bring it down just because of what happened before and him already missing time. And you're not trying to take somebody a whole year for allegations. I think that's a terrible precedent. Like, if he was found guilty, if there was a police report, if there was a video, if there was an audio, if there was something far more incriminating, I think you can justify a year. But a year off of allegations, like, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the world we live in, but that just doesn't sit right to me. Never really has. And it's unfortunate that for me, it's unfortunate that he will be punished in this way. But I think we talked about it earlier. His reckless behavior is played a role. So the punishment, I think, is for the reckless behavior. If you grow up in, certain environments, you shouldn't be having women coming where you at by yourself anyway. Like, when you're that valuable, like, you asking for a lot of trouble. Vince Carter just lost $100,000 in jewelry somebody broke in his house. Rappers and entertainers are getting murdered seemingly every week. So I think that was very reckless and dangerous, and I hope that part has significantly adjusted in his life. I can't tell a man how to make himself happy, but you gotta do some different things, because that ain't it.
Yeah, I mean, it's so many, like, there's so many other ways that you could use to meet a woman. Like, what is the thing with the massage therapist? That's what I'm trying to understand. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I guess they probably do with their hands, Kenny.
Clearly, they got something going on with their hands, but
I'm sure they're all
maybe
attractive.
It's just me. Like,
I can't.
Is it a fetish? Like, I'm just trying to figure it out. Like, there's so many women out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a fetish. Everybody has a weird fetish, Kenny. Yeah. Everybody has a weird fetish. You know what I mean? So,
weird. Let's not go too crazy. Like, I think people have preferences, but
it's not. I shouldn't say it's weird.
I'm not going to say it's weird, but I just think, it would be a different taste from me and Kenny. But you know what I mean? What you will probably be into. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't into I ain't gonna keep calling
it's just like somebody like a bartender or or seeing a woman in scrubs. Maybe that does it for some people. So maybe
he see a woman with lotion in her hands.
Yeah, he just get going.
That massage
he bring his own towel,
Yeah, he get excited. My man be like, "Oh my God, you bought your own supplies? I don't have to supply you with it."
Start playing that. You start playing them ocean breeze sounds and
it's just it's a vibe when you have 300-pound men tackling you and laying on you. You say, you know what? I need a little change of pace.
Oh, that's what it is. Oh, so he been getting touched by these, heavy men getting, grabbed.
Yeah, getting swung around and manhandled.
You want to get touched by, so you want to have
that's it.
I got it. Okay.
I got it.
An unconventional way, but nonetheless, I guess we'll have to wait and see on the last four. From all accounts, the trial would not start until after the season, is what has been reported. So I would hope that the NFL go ahead and figure this out for their sake, but also for Cleveland's sake. Like, Cleveland has decisions to make, and I think that's also part of the reason they keeping Baker on the roster. It's because they don't know. And if it's a year, then you don't sacrifice this year because you just traded for Amari Cooper. You've brought in some players to go for it this year, and Baker would be the next best option. So we'll see what comes of it, but should be interesting. But in more NFL news, and this is a little different. And I feel a certain way as a Washington football team fan, but this organization, what's that?
So we're gonna let you cook on this one. We'll fall back.
This organization It's one of those things where you don't hear a lot about the organization or Dan Snyder as an owner, but you hear about his value and importance. He's one of those, 5 or 6. But and I guess similar to Deshaun Watson, when you have this many allegations all the time, like the team that John Gruden was emailing was Washington. And then they did an investigation, and apparently it was a fake investigation. And then they just been like, Dan Snyder he looks like a cornball, but he's a savage. Like, he just is a scorched earth individual that is only out for self. And the way in which he's conducted business, the way in which he's handled these situations, Congress would ask them to come, and he said no. Like, what do you mean no? So then they subpoenaed him. Like, what'd you think was going to happen? This is just going to go away? Like, that's not how this is going to happen. I don't know if you've been watching the proceedings, but your lawyer should be advising you of this is not going away. And Roger Goodell didn't exactly, take the bullet, in my opinion. He might have threw you a shield, but I think the owners are fed up, and I would love for them to force a sale of the team. And with Walton out the way, that means that maybe that next minority group that was trying to get Denver, maybe they bring their money and talents to Washington, and I would absolutely love that in Chocolate City. We are, I think, because our division's so trash, we're not far away from being a perennial playoff contender. We're really, to me, a quarterback away. Wentz ain't it. But, it's disappointing. It's embarrassing. Just the way it's one thing to have allegations. It's another thing to conduct yourself like a jerk in the midst of the allegations. And then to have this over years and years and years and stuff keep popping up and you just don't fix it. Like the letter he sent out was based on like the last 2 years, but it's like 15 years worth of issues. And then you talk about how you've made changes in the last 2 years. Like, and I like the changes. Like, they've done good stuff. They've hired a bunch of minorities. They've hired women, which is great, but that don't change the fact of all this stuff you've been doing. So really disappointing. And hopefully the NFL makes a decision on that quick. Roger Goodell is earning his money these days. Like, Brian Flores lawsuit has not gone away. We're just not talking about it. They're trying to move that to arbitration. You got this situation with Dan Snyder. You had the Deshaun Watson situation. You had the Jerry Jones situation that popped up. Like, the NFL
you had the Calvin Ridley situation. You had the Henry Ruggs situation.
The Henry Ruggs is still ongoing.
You had Jared Judy. Know what I mean?
Judy's got dropped, so I think he's good. But as far as where you can't run from allegations to let them just go away, like when lawsuits in Congress come calling, like you got to take those calls. So good luck to Roger in figuring all this out while still maintaining his job. But that's kind of my 2 cents. I'll let y'all kind of get in, but it was disturbing to say the least, given his history, and hopefully the end is near. Dev, you a Cowboys fan?
No. What?
No,
Okay. I didn't know. You be all over. I figured typically if you're a Lakers fan, that means you're typically like a Cowboys fan, a Yankees fan. Those fans all support the same team because it was all good at the same time. So I wasn't sure.
No.
Okay.
I told you, y'all, I'm straight 4-1-0, yo. Straight 4-1-0.
Except for basketball. I got you.
Stuff, we don't handle basketball.
Do you like the Orioles?
Yeah.
I appreciate you being honest there. But what do you think about this Washington news?
I think Washington is a disgrace. I feel your pain, my man. You know what I mean? If I was a Washington fan, man, I would have packed my bags and came down 95, man. down to the bank.
Don't forget, Baltimore started this.
Say it again.
I said Baltimore started this stuff.
Started what?
Ray Rice started all this.
Oh
wow.
Oh,
this all started one.
Snyder, how long
they messed up Ray Rice?
How long y'all had this man as y'all owner?
Yeah, but we was cool. We was chilling.
How long? No, I'm pretty sure this man has been doing dirt ever since he became an owner in this league. You know what I mean? He done sold his soul to the devil years ago, and he just walking on earth soulless. You know, that's why he out here doing the things that he's doing. He have no more purpose no more. You know, so
soulless.
The Washington is, except for Ron, except for that coach, Washington is just needed to go ahead and just rebuild, start over.
No, we are rebuilding. We got Chase.
No. Leave the players, but I'm talking about the coaching staff on up. And the owners,
and we got Jason. I forget. It's a black dude. That's our VP. We had Doug Williams. Our front office is super diverse.
The guy from the guy that ran FedEx or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But
no, obviously, all those guys ain't rubbing off on the owner, because the owner's rubbing off on rubbing on something else.
Yeah.
So
that's the problem. He's rubbing.
He don't know how to keep his hands to himself.
Yeah, he's rubbing all right.
That's why I said he's soulless, man. He just walked around here just trying to do whatever just to pass time through his time is here, man. Him and Jerry Jones are in my opinion, the worst two owners we have left in the NFL, man. And it's just like Jerry Jones just wants to be center, and Snyder just.
But see, with Jerry Jones, only difference with him is he's a bad owner because he gets in the way of he just wants to do too much.
Yeah,
like you don't see a bunch of questionable.
Snyder doing too much too. Doing too much.
I'm saying yeah, he is doing too much. But that's what I'm saying, a different way. Like his is more so on the field. Snyder's stuff is all off the field.
So Ray, I don't know what to tell you about this Washington team, man. It is just, I'm just sorry that you're a fan. I'm sorry that you got to go through this. I'm sorry that ain't he the owner of the Wizards too?
No. That's a different management company.
Oh, okay.
But the Wizards Capitals ownership group ain't the best either. But it's another conversation for another time.
At least the Capitals wins more than both of those teams together.
We knocked it out of the park when we drafted Ovi and some others, but it could be better in DC. I ain't gonna lie to you. The Nationals are up for sale, are trying to be sold right now too.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang. Ain't nothing going right down there in that Capital, boy. Golly.
It's tough.
Hey, man, come on down 95, man. We got open applications.
But I like Baltimore. I'm not going to be a fan of Baltimore. I like Baltimore. They got some players I like,
Oh, man.
I'm not rooting for us.
No. We got
them ugly colors on.
Before you become a fan, we got to teach you how to say Baltimore with a D. We don't put the T.
Right, that is
you know what I mean? We don't say Baltimore. You know what I mean? It's Baltimore.
That's a fact.
So before you become a fan,
we are good here. We'll take our go-go. You can have that.
And then you got to say Curry. You got to say tennis.
You got to say Avenue.
Avenue.
You got to say two. You got to say Doug.
Nah, I'll stick with my Mo.
Jody.
I'll stick with my Mo.
Yeah.
But we got the draft. It's kind of under. Actually, no, Kenny, I didn't get your takes on Washington.
Oh no, I'll be quick, man. I just told me when is enough enough.
Yours and I'll be quick.
Yeah, what is enough enough? I mean, as a Cowboys fan, I say keep them in as long as possible because the function is working for me. But but yeah, it's just, when is enough is enough. And the other part that gets me is that I don't know if did y'all hear did y'all hear Goodell's testimony with Congress, and the congressman was like, when when are you guys going to get this guy out of here? He was like, my hands are tied. There's nothing that I could do. So it's just like, as much as they want to, and I think this is kind of, I think quiet is kept. I think the other owners wanted this to happen with Congress so they could put it in their hands to try to make them have to be the bad guys and drop the hammer on to make it happen so that he would have to sell so they wouldn't have to. So
but I don't even think Congress could force him to sell. I think
no, they can't. But I think they wanted to see if they could do their dirty work for him.
Right. So let everything get released so the public outcry's crazy. Exactly. And then they can say, well, we didn't have a choice.
Exactly.
Jerry Richardson and what's his name? The Clippers owner. So I get it. And I'm not even upset. Like those are the people you need on your side, and you're thumbing your nose at them. Like that's just the epitome of arrogance and probably foolishly. But we'll see what happens. I guess I wish him the best, but ultimately, the last thing we needed was more distractions on our team. With our arguably best player coming back from an injury, so we'll see.
Carson Wentz.
Hey, man. That man was only an MVP candidate a couple years ago.
Y'all ain't paid your quarterback neither. So why does this kept? You might have Carson Wentz next year. Keep it up.
That's cool. You know what I mean? That's cool. We're gonna open Carson Wentz, but until then, New Era 8 is our quarterback.
I hear you. For now,
he's gonna be our quarterback in the future too.
Yeah, I'll be shocked. I'll think they're gonna pay him.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw my prediction out there right now. Yeah. He will be our quarterback in the future.
So is he going to make more or less than Deshaun?
That's the part I cannot see through the cloud yet, because we gotta see what we got on our end, man. That's a lot of money.
If I'm him, there's no way I'm not selling for a penny under fully guaranteed. You gotta give me all my money. Yeah. If this guy, if Deshaun Watson gonna get his money fully guaranteed, I got to get all my money.
Oh yeah, and I was MVP before Deshaun Watson.
That's my point exactly. I led you to the playoffs.
And then did you see the weight that he came in the camp with, man? That weight on Deshaun, on Lamar, my man, he is way bigger than he was last year. They said he put on at least about like 12 pounds of muscle.
Okay.
Coming in the camp this year.
You know that slows you down.
Nah, he been working on his speed too. I've been following his workouts on Twitter and stuff like that. He been doing like a lot of cone drills, a lot of parachutes, a lot of stop and goes, a lot of weight vests. He been doing a lot of different stuff like that to keep
especially with technology now, when you put on if you put on the weight the right way, it can actually make you more explosive.
Yeah,
I hear y'all. So is he throwing to his receivers?
Yeah. Doing all that. He doing everything.
Well, he ain't on the field. Yeah, we got to see if
he on the field. He been on the practice field. He been tossing around. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought he was sitting out. Oh, that was the
he got the helmet on. He been tossing around. He been doing drills and all that.
Okay.
He's out there.
Fair enough.
We shall see.
All right. Well, it is draft night, ladies and gentlemen, and we are up to the Rockets. Looks like they're picking again at 17, and the pick is in, and the Rockets have taken, and Kemba Walker is going to be traded to the Pistons and expected to be bought out, is what I just saw pop up.
Really?
And the Rockets took Tari Eason.
Oh yeah, from LSU.
So looks like we got some movement there.
Y'all think Shaq's son getting drafted tonight?
No.
But he'll wind up in the G League.
Yeah, he'll get in the G. If LiAngelo got in the G League, he can get in the G League.
Yeah, no, he can play. He just needs some more time.
Well, yeah, he was dealing with a lot of injuries, right? Like the heart.
He had a heart issue.
Right.
So yeah. So we'll see what comes up. But I would be shocked. The Lakers draft picks too early, so they're not going to take him. And he don't have really enough tape. And he said him and his dad didn't agree on the process, but I think he probably should have listened.
Well, yeah, I think he definitely should have, just coming off of what, you average 3 points a game. Like it's hard for you to expect a team to draft you after you're coming off a season of averaging 3 points a game. Like that's asking a lot. Like, yeah, but I did hear that he played really well at the pre-draft camp. Yeah, and at the pre-draft camp, I heard he played really well because he started at the G League camp, and then they wound up inviting him to the big one, to the NBA one. So I think he did open some eyes and turn some heads, and from what I understand, I think he worked out for like 12 teams. So he may get a look late in the second round, but he'll probably wind up not. I'd be surprised if he does get picked. It'll be late in the second round, but I don't think he's going to get drafted.
Yeah, agreed on all fronts. So tonight, for the most part, the top 5 went, I think, as we expected. The order might have been a little bit off. So I'll ask it this way: of the top 5, and I'll try and pull them up and read them off, or if somebody want to pull it up while I'm
yeah, I think I know it off the top of my head. It's Banchero, Holmgren. I thought I had it. Banchero, Holmgren.
It's the guy from Arizona.
Keegan Bradley.
We had Paolo, Holmgren, Jabari Smith, Keegan Murray,
Smith, that's
and Jaden Ivey.
Jaden Ivey, yeah, there you go.
Got you. Of course, I pulled it up as soon as y'all figured it out. But so I'll start it this way: who do you think would be the best of the top 5, and who do you think is most likely to be a bust? I'll start with you, Kenny.
It's tough. Like, it's 3 of them that I really like. I really like Banchero. I really like Jaden Ivey. And I like Jabari Smith. But out of them, the one I like the best is Paolo Banchero. I think he's going to be the best of them all. I do think he needs to get better defensively, so that's going to be the one thing that I'll be watching for. But I just think offensively, in terms of the full package, I think he has the full package offensively. He could score from all 3 levels. He could put it on the deck. He could play face the basket. He could play back to the basket. And I just like his bag. Like, I just think he has a lot in his bag, and I think he really can affect the game in a lot of ways. I like Jabari Smith too, but I think he's more of a shooter. He's more of a catch and shoot guy, and I don't really see him putting it on the deck as well as Paolo. But I really like Jaden Ivey. Man, I just like his moxie. I like the way he controls the game. So I think he's going to play really well. I got questions about Chet Holmgren. So for my best, I got Paolo Banchero, and then the worst, I think, is Chet Holmgren. I'm not sure, one, physically, how well he'll be able to hold up. And don't get me wrong, you got a lot of thin guys in the league, So I don't think it's that, but I just think athletically, I'm not sure how that's going to translate in the league, because he's going to probably be like a stretch 4 type of guy, so he's going to have to guard guys in space. And I'm just not how sure. To me, he seemed a little slow of foot, like laterally. So I'm not sure about his lateral quickness. But I do like his length. I do like the way he shoots the ball, the way he handles it. I'm just not sure about physically on the other end and how he's going to be able to compete, and how well he's going to be able to get his thing off in the league. So that's the one I got the most questions about. The one I have the least questions about is Paolo Banchero.
Okay. Dev, best and worst.
Kind of tough, because all these teams are just, not all that great. Because system-wise, there's really no structure in neither one of these teams, really. But I'm gonna have to agree with Kenny. Paolo is the best out of the group. Jabari Smith is like, in my opinion, tailing him, like in a good foot race. Only because Jabari Smith can play both sides of the ball better than Pablo, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Jaden Ivey, the only thing about him is how is he going to fit with Cade Cunningham next year? That's just like my only question, because Detroit just keep drafting guards, and then they just let Jeremy Grant go. So I really just don't see Detroit direction, when it comes to how Jaden Ivey gonna fit in that system.
Well, I think they want to put the ball more in Cade Cunningham's hands in terms of running the offense through him. And I think with Jeremy Grant there, that was going to get in his way. So I think they moved him so that they could really feature Cade Cunningham more in the offense.
Yeah, and Chad Holmgren, I just don't like. I didn't like him in Gonzaga, really. He just reminded me of a Sean Bradley, kind of just a stick figure out there.
Yeah, but I don't. To me, that's rough for me, because he could actually put the ball in the deck and he could shoot it.
Yeah, but he's going to get exposed on that defense. Now let's say he come up with a matchup of KD. KD can kind of expose them. Even, Jason Tatum. Even Jason Tatum, and with his length, can kind of expose. It's a lot of lengthy guys that can kind of expose, Holmgren when it comes on the defensive floor. And OKC, that's another team. I don't know what direction they going. Also, I like child. What's his name? Gilchrist Alexander. I like him.
Oh yeah, me too.
He's a great point guard down there, but I just don't know what direction. But so to answer your question, Ray, Paolo's the best, Chat's the worst.
So I thought we would be less aligned in this. So I'm gonna go. I agree with you. I think those are the two. But and somebody that I hadn't really heard mentioned as much, and I'm trying to pull it back up now, that I do like, and obviously Paolo, I think, is the overall package in which you would want. He's the can't miss. I don't think you can not. They could have not picked him and then went for somebody else. In my opinion,
I think I think either him or Jabbar. To me, I think Houston really lucked up. Like, I think they got to, getting Jabari Smith at 3. I think that was a great. They were really fortunate there. But I think you could have gone either way between those two, because he's kind of similar to Paolo, except for he's a little better on the defensive end.
Right.
Just my eye test, it would be hard for me to pick Smith over Banchero. And I know that was what was talked about. I just think he has the package. But for me, I really liked Keegan Murray. I watched him in a tournament, and that to me is typically when I really try to grade people. If you perform in a tournament and the pressure moments and the high stakes versus the better competition, that means a lot more to me than putting up a bunch of stats in the regular season versus people that'll grow up and have a college degree in finance or something. And I saw Murray carry that Iowa team as much as he could. And that to me means a lot. The other part that I don't like in almost all of these cases, I think Smith is probably in the best situation where he can play. Orlando's gonna have a decision to make. And Kenny, I was gonna say for you were talking about he lacks defense. When you got Carter Jr. and Bamba, you don't really need to be a great defender.
Yeah, but I think Bamba's a free agent.
Yeah, I could say I don't think Bamba gonna be too much longer down in Orlando.
So that's the decision they would have to make. And I don't think he would have been that expensive, in my opinion. And I think he's good talent. So
and you still got what's the guy from Michigan? The brother France. You got him too.
Yeah.
I mean, Franz Wagner, yeah. So you got a lot of guys at that.
He's a big. He's a big. I'll give you that.
I'm just saying, like, you got a lot of guys that are.
But it makes it worse to me. Like, so somebody can't play, and you're not the number one.
And that's why I was saying I don't see the direction of any, maybe except for Sacramento, because they went with a big man that can kind of play with De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, but they traded for Sabonis.
Yeah, but they did get they drafted the kid Bradley. Bradley can play the 3. I think Bradley will be able to play the 3.
Yeah, and I think Bradley will. You're saying for who?
For Sacramento, he went to Sacramento, didn't he?
Oh, Murray, Keegan Murray.
Keegan Murray went to Sacramento.
Yeah, he can play the 3.
Yeah.
I think he can play the 3.
I don't know if defensively he's going to be great at the 3 in the NBA. Like, he's solid, but I don't know if I want him on the perimeter trying to guard some of the 3s in this league. But maybe. Like I said, I still think Houston, when they got rid of Christian Wood, like fitting with that young backcourt, I think they hit Smith out of the park, which is why I think they were really hoping Banchero would fall. Because if he would have fell in Houston,
you got your young big 3 there.
That could have been
KPG,
something dynamic.
Yeah,
but also I think Smith fits because they want to get up and down, and he's the better shooter.
Absolutely, and he can space the floor.
Right. So I think Houston is.
But they also, they also lost Christian Wood also.
But they
that opens it up for him.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. That gives them that opportunity, and that's what they need. They didn't need another young backcourt because between Green, Kevin Porter Jr., and they got another young guard that's nice. His name escapes me at the time.
I know you're talking about left-handed dude.
Yeah. So I think they'll be dynamic. I think it's going to be a while, and you're going to run into the issue of if they play well, you're going to have to eventually pay one, and you might have to pay them before they really realize their full potential of those 3.
They're all going to pretty much come up back to back to back because they're all within a year of each other.
So I think that'll be tough, and hopefully they'll have a decision make. But I think the talent is definitely there. I agree with you about Ivy. I really, really like Ivy. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Detroit is hitting this draft out the park.
You think he'll play? That's a small backcourt.
No, Cunningham is 6'6".
Is he that tall?
Yeah.
I thought he was about like 6'4".
No, Cunningham's 6'5", 6'6".
Okay, if he's that big, I mean, he don't play no defense, but I'm not gonna kill him. But he's gonna have to play your point because he needs the ball in his hand.
Not actually.
That guy's Cunningham is 6'8".
Cunningham 6'8"?
That's what they got on Wikipedia.
I ain't got him taller than Lonzo now. You know what I mean?
I googled it. They got him at 6'6", so he's a lot bigger than I thought. Either way, maybe he grew because he did not look or play like he was 6'6".
And you got to think about it too. The kid is only 19. He might not be finished growing.
That's what I'm saying. He must have grew because he wasn't. I don't think he was doing that, but
he ain't gonna be running the point that much. Pretty much.
No, but Ivy will be running the point because I think they think that Cunningham is more of a point forward than an actual point guard.
But he needs the ball. I think he's best with the ball in his hand. Like I think we saw that last year. He was by far their best player with the ball.
He might be that ISO player then. You know what I mean?
Or you can take turns like you can have multiple. There's nothing wrong with having multiple ball handlers. Yeah, especially in today's, they can
Stephen Clay or Lowry and DeRozan it. Well, we'll see.
Lowry and DeRozan didn't get too far, man.
Lowry and DeRozan was a good. Don't do that.
They ain't get that.
There was a guy in the Western. There was a guy in the Eastern Conference that gave him some trouble.
They was cool. You know what I mean? But if they underachieved a lot. They underachieved a lot. They left a lot of games out there on that floor.
But to be fair, though, they made a couple of trips to the conference finals, so it's not like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not knocking them. I'm not knocking them. I'm just not a big Kyle Lowry fan. Number one,
I'm not either, but I still understand what he represented at that time.
Yeah, at that time, but still, I believe one of them years, I believe they was better than that Cleveland team that beat them. I never thought that. I think they had a better.
Yeah, I never thought that they were better than Cleveland.
I think they had a better scheme than Cleveland, in my opinion. At least one of them years.
LeBron
but
was the scheme. What do you mean?
That's what I'm saying. He's the difference. So as long as LeBron was on the court, they were always at a disadvantage because the best player was on the other team. So I just never believed that they were going to ever beat Cleveland.
So,
but yeah, I like Detroit.
Okay. Well, Kenny, we're gonna wait and see. Hopefully, this is their time.
Then they traded for the kid Duren from Memphis. So you got your backcourt and you got your rim protector, and Jalen Duren from Detroit from the kid from Memphis. They traded Charlotte for the rights for his draft rights.
Okay. So I was curious why they did that, but again, I couldn't hear that, so that's cool. I'll go with that. We'll wait and see. I don't think Detroit's going anywhere anytime soon, but they got better. I think that's what's important. So I think we all agree that they got better. And go ahead.
No, I'm saying I agree. I was agreeing with you.
Yeah. So the Knicks and I meant to update you. So they did trade the pick. So the Thunder got 3 lottery picks, and they did not get the next pick. It's just a bunch of
got 2 first rounds though from them.
Yeah,
they got
so
2 first round picks. I'm okay with that.
Who is the general manager of the Thunder?
So trading your one this year for 2 ones later.
I'm okay with that because those are going to be, as long as they're not lottery protected, to me, for the next, those are going to be lottery picks. So I'm okay with that.
So the Knicks are rebuilding, and you're good with that?
No, they're not rebuilding. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I would have rather.
How are they not rebuilding? The team was awful last year. They're not drafting new talent this year. They're likely going to lose their best player.
I wouldn't say that they're necessarily rebuilding. I think that they're retooling. So they still got cap space to, and of course, we've had this cap space for forever.
Ain't nobody coming to New York.
Yeah, so it could be one of these years, maybe one of these years actually having a World Wide West will actually pan out to us getting a free agent. My man Jalen Brunson, he's coming.
Who?
Jalen Brunson is coming. We already hired his dad as assistant coach.
So Jalen Brunson's gonna be the number 1 there.
Yeah, I would take that. I would take that. Him, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle.
Please drug test him.
Can you afford all them?
No, you just got one. You already got the cap space for one max deal, so you could do that.
If you give Jalen a max, you overpaid. Not like him, but he ain't no max player.
You really think he's not gonna get a max deal in this offseason?
I wouldn't give him one. Now somebody might pay him.
But he's not a max player. He will get a max deal from a team. You can take that to the bank.
You think his deal will be bigger than Jordan Poole's?
Oh, that'd be similar. I think they're going to be similar. I think they're both going to get max deals.
That to me, if I could get Jordan Poole at Jalen Brunson money.
So you're telling me that Jordan Poole is that much better than Jalen Brunson?
I think so.
No, I disagree.
He's bigger. There's very similar skill sets, but he's bigger.
I disagree. I don't think he's that much better.
I think Jordan could dribble better than Jalen. I don't see Jalen.
But I think
Jalen's more the off the guard ball, more than
I
Poole
think Jalen's IQ is better than Jordan Poole's.
I don't
think
even.
His IQ is better. I think Jordan Poole is just really a bucket getter. I don't really think that I don't think he makes his teammates better. I think he's just a flat out scorer.
Okay.
Which is not a bad thing. I'm just saying that's that's who he is.
Okay. I don't know if I've seen Jalen in that role enough playing with Luka as a playmaker for others as the main guy.
I remember from college. Like I've been on Jalen Brunson. I've been a Jalen Brunson fan since college. I just think, of course, he has the pedigree because his pops played in the league, but I just think he has a real just strong feel for the game. He just knows. He's one of those guys that he knows where to be, when to be. He's not going to hurt you on the court. He's always going to be in the right place. He's always going to try to make the right play. And I think he's the playmaker that will really help the Knicks, because that's what they sorely, lacked, is because you think about it. You put him with Fournier, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle. You got IQ coming off the bench. That's not bad. That's not a bad five.
I agree with you, but who's going to play any defense?
Well, if there's one thing
Robinson.
with Tibbs is that the team is going to play defense. That's part of the game. That goes without saying. I think the problem with the Knicks is they're too predictable offensively. I don't think the defense was the problem. I think they were just too predictable offensively.
And all the players need the ball in their hand. Randall dominates the ball. RJ dominates
that's
the ball.
My point, is that if you get a point guard, like if you bring in somebody like a Jalen Brunson, that means that Julius Randle doesn't have to handle the ball as much. And I think he's better when he's just a finishing player as opposed to an offensive initiator.
Julius Randle will be good once he learned how to use the right hand. Once he learned that right hand is there, Jesus. I swear Julius Randle.
Man, I've been on this dude, I swear, ever since, because I watched him in Kentucky, because, my uncle used to work there, so I used to always watch the Kentucky games. And when I saw this guy, I was like, yo, this guy he can't go right. He cannot use his right hand at all. And this was his freshman year in college. So this is here now. This is probably 6 or 7 years later, and we still haven't seen this dude be able to use his right hand. Even R.J. Barrett, even he started to use his right hand. So I'm like, this guy still won't use his right hand. I don't understand it.
It got him an all-star appearance and a max deal.
It did, but I'm just saying, you're cutting off half the court. Because even if you go right, we know at some point you're coming back to your left hand. So you're just easy to defend. So I just don't understand it. Although, I will say I saw some pics of him on social media, and he was looking real chiseled. So he looked like he's trying to come back on a revenge tour. So hopefully all that lifting he's doing some skill work to work on his right hand. We'll see.
I would say all that you can look chisel all you want, but if your right hand can't still go over top of your pec, you ain't no good, man.
Oh man, that's well said. But no, it'll definitely be curious to see how this all pans out. I think the East is going to get tougher potentially.
No, it will.
So the Knicks. I don't know. They might vault to the team in New York by the next couple months. There might not be nobody else in Brooklyn.
Nah, that ain't happening.
Just Ben Simmons. I don't know.
Imagine if Ben Simmons. KD already told them that if Kyrie don't sign back, I'm demanding a trade. So
gone.
Rebuild.
They want to build around Ben Simmons in Brooklyn.
Don't play with me.
Okay, I see the Memphis proposed trade, so their pick is coming. But yeah. So it'll definitely be interesting to see. But speaking of trades, Jeremy Grant going to Portland. I'll say for me, I don't know what Portland's doing. They got 8 Jeremy Grants on that team. That wing guy, they have that. They traded one away.
Yeah, they traded one away.
And they brought another one
Covington. In. They traded Covington, and Little can't stay healthy. So what other wings they got?
They had Who went to the guy that went to the Clippers? Norman Powell.
It was Covington and Powell. They traded both of them.
That's what I'm saying. They traded out. But they're bringing back what they already had. Like, for what?
Well, you gotta replenish it after you got rid of it. To me, I think he's a better version of Robert Covington.
Covington, I'll give you, but Norman Powell was solid.
Yeah, but he's a guard though. Like he's more of a 2. I don't really look at him as a 3.
I see him more in the 3 role, but I guess if you want to say he's a 2, I don't know what they're doing. I don't necessarily like the deal. I don't think it necessarily fits with what they currently got. They have a backcourt decision to make because both of those guys need the ball in their hand. And I think seniority is going to play out. I don't know how Simons is going to handle that. Like, it's Lillard's team, but I think you take away a lot of his best ability, Simons, by taking the ball out of his hands.
But think about it though. Him and CJ was able to play off each other, and both of them needed the ball in their hands to score.
That's what I was about to say. And it didn't get them anywhere near where they wanted to be. And this is the West. The East will get better, but the West is definitely getting better. I think Memphis will be better. Phoenix will be back. They'll have a max spot opening up without Ayton. I think they might improve that. The Clippers will be back. By all accounts, the Lakers will be a different team. Dallas got Christian Wood. Like, when I look at that trade, Portland is still a playing team.
Oh, no, they're definitely behind. Yeah, they're definitely at the bottom of the pack.
Is New Orleans better? Is New Orleans over top of Portland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if Zion come back healthy, which by all accounts,
man, you talking about looking chiseled. That guy look like Sean Kemp 2.0, man.
Portland, it might have just worked out. So yeah, with that core, I think Portland, off the top of my head, Portland might be the worst team in the West, outside of maybe Oklahoma City,
Sacramento, Houston.
But see, I like Sacramento. I think what
I think it's still better than Sacramento.
What
although
if Dame can stay healthy, he's better than Sacramento.
Yeah, but you know what though? I think now you're adding a kid from Iowa with Sabonis for the full season of Sabonis. You still got Davion Mitchell, who's I like him. He's really good.
Davion, yeah.
And you got my man De'Aaron Fox. So you got a nice core. And then I think Mike Brown is gonna do a good job there. So I think they'll be better, but I'm just not sure if they're better than Portland yet. I think it depends on what they do with what they do at the center spot, because I'm hearing that they're going after DeAndre Ayton. You bring in DeAndre Ayton, that can definitely improve their.
If you can have Murray at the 3 with Ayton at the 5, Sabonis and Fox.
No, I'm hearing Portland is going after.
Oh, Portland.
DeAndre Ayton.
And they have.
Don't they still got
They got
Nurkic.
What's not Jokic? What's his name?
Nurkic.
Yeah, Jusuf Nurkic, not Jokic. Nurkic.
Yeah, Nurkic is a free
But then
agent.
they also got what's the long guy from the Lakers? His dad played in the league.
Bobo.
Who?
Come on, Bobo.
No. I thought the Larry Nance Jr. Ain't he in Portland now?
Nah, Cleveland.
Oh, he's in Cleveland.
Nah, he down in New Orleans.
New Orleans, that's right. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That's right.
I thought he was still up there. Okay, so yeah, I guess I'm not an Ayton fan, but I think he fits in Portland. He can pick and roll with Lillard.
We know you ain't an Ayton fan.
All right.
Listen, I just know what I see. I don't want to dislike players. I don't know these guys personally.
Do you think that he would eat more? You think he would get the ball more in Portland than he would in?
Heck no. What more than when he was with Chris Paul? Chris Paul's a center maker.
Yeah, but he wasn't passing on the ball
because he wasn't good.
Damn.
Like, what do you want me to say? Like Chris Paul is a great point guard by most people's standards. He know where the ball go, and they ain't give him the ball. So why is that? Because it was better off not being in his hands.
Maybe, but I think also Chris Paul likes sometimes he tends to want his centers to play a certain way. Like he wants his centers to be lob guys, and then I don't know that DeAndre Ayton is really that type of guy. Like
he's scared to dunk.
I'm just saying he's not a lob guy. He's a guy where you get it to him in the post and let him go to work.
Yeah, he's like LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yeah, I don't think they really, try to really give him those opportunities.
But you think Dame about to pass on the ball? You think Simon's gonna pass on the ball?
Yeah, they need
Jeremy Grant gonna pass on the ball?
I think they need a third piece. To be fair though, that's what I'm saying. I think
Ray, you do know it's a team game, right? What they gonna play hot potato? What they gonna play hot potato and keep him out the rotation?
He gonna do is set picks.
Man,
he gonna set picks so they can shoot 40 footers
sometimes.
All right, watch what his numbers do. He gonna be like 12-7.
Nah, chill. That's just no, man. This dude is always firing shots at DeAndre.
Oh man!
I'm just telling you what I know.
He said he gonna be 12-7, right?
That's what he gonna be. 12-7. He gonna get max money, but he gonna be 12-7.
You said the man gonna be 12-7. Yo, what is up with Paolo's suit though? Y'all saw his suit?
He got the diamonds in that thing. That thing purple.
Dude,
it was diamonds.
DTM doing too much.
Boy, it's creative, but I couldn't do it.
A little bit too much.
Nah, I could. You think them diamonds was real?
But he was icy though. That.
You think them diamonds was real?
Icy.
Nah, he said they were cubic zirconia. He was explaining what it was.
Oh, all right.
If those, you know how much that suit would be if those was real diamonds?
That's what I was saying, man. Like, he come out of college.
I thought you were talking about the necklace.
Hey, Kenny throwing shots. Kenny throwing shots.
Like, what are we doing?
Oh, man.
Oh man, Kenny, you is petty, man. I wasn't sure. We was talking about the man's suit. How did you get on his? How did you get on this man? What you call, man? Damn. My man said. So that means deep down in your mind, Kenny was thinking like, man, that chain fake. I don't care.
No, I was trying to understand.
Nah, you thought that chain was fake.
I thought too. Dang, he came from my man's ice.
No,
you is petty. Yeah, we got a hater on the set, guys.
Not at all. I thought y'all was telling me. I was trying to get an understanding.
I hear you.
But I ain't listening.
We do gotta address the elephant in the room. We've run from it long enough. I think I asked Dev, but Kenny, you weren't on. Where is Kyrie Irving playing next year?
Brooklyn.
Dang,
say that so
confident.
Yeah.
Damn.
Brooklyn. Clearly, Brooklyn.
Can you elaborate on your confidence?
Because they've already stated Kevin Durant has already put it out there. If you don't sign this guy back, I'm out of here. So they have basically hamstrung the Nets to the two of them being together. Like there's no way that you can not re-sign Kyrie Irving.
If that's the case, then why haven't they re-signed him?
Well, again, this is and I've said this, that this is basically them trying to assert their power, them trying to create some leverage. Or Damian, go to sleep.
Said the Euro League.
Yeah, go to sleep.
Night.
Yeah. They're just trying to assert their power, and to Internet's defense, like they understandably have some concerns with Kyrie. So and to be fair, that there's definitely a reason for concern or a reason as to why they're trying to get some type of expectations as to whether he's going to be committed to this. You're asking for this max deal, but are you going to be committed to being fully vested into the team? So, and that's fair. So, but I think that the Nets are in they're basically backed into a corner. They they kind of tied their fortunes to KD and Kyrie, and now you can't now turn back, especially after you already have folded, because last season you said either you're going to be full-time a part of the team or we don't want you here. Then halfway through you reverse course.
You lost 12 in a row.
That's what I'm saying. But like either you stick to your principles or you don't. So once you do that, then you're basically kind of hamstringing yourself. And that's what I think that they've done. They've hamstrung themselves, and that they're tied to KD and Kyrie, because you can't have one without the other. So either you sign him or you lose KD, or you don't sign him and you lose. You know what I'm saying? It's one way or the other. Either you're going to bring him back and you're stuck, or you're going to or you're going to let him go and then you lose KD and then you had a full rebuild. Then what? You're going to what? Build your team around Ben Simmons? Like, so I don't think that they have any choice in the matter. So it's what it is. It is what it is. So I don't think that there's any question that Kyrie's going to be back.
Gotcha. Hold on, guys. I just wanted to double check something real quick. And I think you did mention that. No, you said, is it 3 times? What was the trade that you said, Kenny? Duran ended up where? Because I was reading
Detroit.
Something different. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I was reading it wrong. So him and Kemba went to
Detroit.
The Got you. And then they got the 2 first picks. Okay. Just trying to make sure we reported that right. Okay. Well, for me, I will say, I don't know about that. I mean, I'm shocked you're as confident as you are.
He kicked me out when he said how confident he was.
Yeah. I just
think that there's no. I don't think that there's any. They don't really have a choice.
But this is, I think, been my stance on this consistently. Then why are we? What are you doing this dance for? Just to piss them off? Like if
I think they're trying to. Let me see, how do I put this? Trying to ensure him, like, it's going to be our way. You're going to either be all in or you're not getting this money. I think that's what they're trying to get to.
But once they give him the money, that don't mean nothing.
Yeah,
he could say,
I get it.
He could say, you know what, guys, I've been reflecting over the summer. I went to see the guy on the flat Earth planet, and he told me I need to tighten up. And they'll say, okay, here's your money. And then he's like, nah, just kidding. My fingers are crossed behind my back. Like, you're going to have to give him the money. So why are you risking alienating him? Because all that's going to do is all season, yeah, you gave me my money, but you made me work to get it. I feel like Dak went through that. When Jerry got up there and said, I overpaid you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you cutting off your nose to spite your face.
So then I don't understand what they're doing here. I think at this point, you cut bait with both of them, trade them both, and build around Simmons.
But you do that, then you're back at square one, and you're not competing for a championship for the next 5 years.
Not necessarily. If you can, the haul you could get for Kyrie or KD or a package deal, like you can. Those are great assets. You don't have to be depleted. I wouldn't trade them for 8 first-round picks. Like you can go get some talent with Kyrie and KD, because if KD gonna want to go and KD's locked up, so there's really no hesitation. Kyrie would have to be the sign and trade, so someone would have to be willing to pay him the max. But I don't see how after this year, either one of them is in Brooklyn because I don't think Kyrie gonna come back. And if he signs that extension, you have no leverage. And whatever he gives y'all did it because y'all pissed him off. Like, he's not the kind of person, neither one of them are the types of players that you play hardball with. Their personalities are not built that way, and they don't seem real forgiving. So I just think you're gonna pay for it in the long run. And Steve Nash definitely got to go. Like, I saw reports that Kyrie was having practice after practice. Like,
yeah, but I don't. To me, I think that's you have to see what context that is, because if they're doing like individual workouts after practice, if they're working on skills after practice, then who cares? Like, if he's pulling guys to the side and we're working on, dribble pull-ups or, dribble combinations, shooting, things of that nature, that's one thing. But if this guy is running through sets and they're scrimmaging and stuff like that, that's something totally different. So it's got to be, what I'm saying? Like, it's got to be in context. So we could throw these things out there, but we got to see what the context is before we jump out the window.
I respect that. That is fair. But the history says he does not value that coach. And I don't think that coach can get them where they need to go personally.
I don't think so.
But when they play together, they're good.
There's no question about
it. Just doesn't happen very often. So we'll definitely see. In relation to Dev, I think we talked earlier. You change your opinion? Did Kenny change your mind, or what you thinking?
Nope. You still coming to LA?
I don't see. Oh, to the Clippers?
Nah, you come to the Lakers. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna make it happen.
Because I don't know how you would do that.
I don't know how we're gonna do it. I don't know what we're gonna do with Russ if we do it. But yeah,
can't play them together.
No,
nah. I really don't see it because
and you can't fit all of those salaries. You got to move.
You would trade him for AD.
And you're gonna play. So you're gonna play Kyrie, West, and LeBron.
Yeah.
I don't like you, Ray.
Oh no! All of them need the ball in their hands. Who? Yeah,
Kyrie can play off the ball. We saw that last year.
He can, but to me, all of those guys, that would be hard to be able to spread it out between all three of those guys.
The only person that doesn't fit,
I think it's my man Donovan Ham gonna be coach of the year.
If you put Kyrie, LeBron, and AD together, that's a better fit than putting.
I agree, LeBron, but they're not trading Russ for Kyrie, so the only option is to trade AD.
Oh, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't think the Lakers do that.
And then you just put Russ on the bench, start LeBron and Kyrie.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Darvin Ham already said what he said. I mean, I think that to me makes the most sense. Let Russ come off the bench and just go nuts.
Good luck with that. I don't think that. While I agree with you, I think he would thrive in that role because you get, he could be an instant energy guy, instant offense guy coming off the bench. I just don't know if his ego would accept it.
Well, if not, then he can just go home like John Wall did. I mean, we can do this one of two ways, and you can go into free agency with the last thing we saw was that awful tape. So we'll see what comes of it, but I think you got to move one, and then I think it'll be an arms race to figure out who can get Kevin Durant out of Brooklyn. I think if Kyrie loses, we're gonna see some stuff trying to get Kevin Durant, whether it be Miami, whether it be Phoenix.
100.
Or if Miami get Kevin Durant, they can almost lock that up. They East up, boy. God damn, because Boston ain't taking them to 7. No, that's not going to 7. No, sir.
Or you put Middleton and some pieces, send them to Milwaukee. Like,
I don't see that.
I mean,
it would take more than that.
I don't see that.
Whatever you want. Giannis and Holiday staying, and you can have anybody else.
Damn.
That ain't. I'm not taking I'm not taking no combination of Middleton and a bunch of bums for KD. I'm sorry.
Or he wants for nothing. Well, he got a couple. He got what, 2 years?
I agree. He got like 2 or 3. He got 2-3 more years left on his contract.
Yeah, he just signed that extension.
So we'll see. He has less leverage, but he still got a ton of leverage.
Anytime we all know that anytime a star demands a trade,
but he's not just a star. He's like
anytime. But we could look at the history from James Harden to Anthony Davis. The list goes on and on. Anytime a star demands a trade, Carmelo Anthony. Anytime a star demands a trade, it happens.
So where does Melo go?
Nobody stays.
Y'all think Melo coming back to LA?
Carmelo?
It was a report. It was somebody that was interested, and I can't remember who it was.
I mean, instant offense is always valuable.
I would take Melo back, honestly. It was only just quite a few people.
Y'all better take Melo back. I don't know if Melo wants to come back.
Well, with a different coaching, you might. I mean, never know.
Can see somebody like Boston. I think that would be somebody that could be that talent skill set.
I would. Yeah, that's a good look. Even Miami. I would. They could use some storm punch off the bench,
especially if they lose Tyler Hero.
Exactly, and if you're
Hero signed, right? He just wants.
Hero signed. I was saying, I think he would be an upgrade. No, they're losing. They could potentially be losing PJ Tucker. So
I think he already opted out.
Yeah, he opted out.
That's what I'm saying. The Lakers trying to make a pursuit. That could be a nice. That could be
a nice Iguodala replacement in Golden State.
Yeah, too.
Well, it depends on what they do with Andrew Wiggins.
They can't pay Jordan Hill and keep. They already got 4 max players.
Mm-hmm.
How do you have a 5th max player?
That's what I'm saying.
Bill is gonna be like $500 million.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Wiggins got to go, and I think he will stay, but his value's super high too. So if there was someone to trade, his value is the highest.
But they got to understand, though.
You get 2 ones in a player.
You take Andrew Wiggins, you can't expect him to be your ace. He's not your ace. I'm not saying he's not capable of being an ace, but that's not what suits him in the NBA. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He tried it in Minnesota, and it didn't fit him, even though they had bad coaching down there a little bit. But him being a 2B, you know what I mean, depending on if Clay was having a bad night or if Steph wasn't having a thought, Andrew Wiggins was your guy. You know what I mean? He was going to give you that 15 to 18 range, kind of almost.
But those kind of players can go anywhere. Like I could see him in whether it be Boston, whether it be Cleveland, whether it be Chicago. Like his skill set is one that he can fit almost anywhere.
But then you send him to Chicago. It's almost. You most definitely. It will be a better, a little bit better upgrade with Andrew Wiggins, but I don't think him and DeRozan will be a good match because, like I said, Andrew Wiggins, DeRozan needs the ball in his hand. You know what I mean, a lot, and he also
better. I think he's actually, to be honest with you, I think he would be a better fit than Zach LaVine because I think that Wiggins is a guy that plays a little better off the ball than LaVine does.
But DeRozan kind of takes a lot of the shot clock, though. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't necessarily, you don't necessarily have to run offense for Andrew Wiggins for him to be productive. So I think that he will actually be a better fit in Chicago than Zach LaVine.
Yeah, Zach LaVine he can't stay healthy and he only worry about offense. He don't play defense or anything in that nature.
So it should be. I thought the last 2 offseasons have been kind of wild. I think we're headed for another one.
Oh yeah. I think the NBA is always going to have a wild season.
Happy to see your boy Bill. So that's a big
Just relax. Just relax.
I tried to get on. I got underneath his skin a little bit early.
Man, you got to see. You got to wait to see what Kyrie decides to do. So this could definitely be a big off season.
So the report is that the Pistons will buy out Kemba Walker. Mm-hmm. Where does Kemba go, Kenny? And will he be a starter in the NBA?
Probably not.
Not a starter.
I think his days of being a starter is over. But if I'm a contending team like Milwaukee, I'm taking a look at him because I think that they could use a backup point guard. I think that would upgrade them in terms of backup point guard.
Real quick, Kenny. So do you think Kemba views himself as a backup? Is he taking?
I don't think he does, but I think
that's my issue with that.
No, I don't think that he does, but I think at this point of his career, I think he would be willing to accept it if he was on a contending team. So, like, say for example, like Milwaukee, say a team like Miami comes calling. I think he would.
See, I was thinking Miami, but the thing about it is you don't want to have two.
I would, if I'm him, I'm going in there thinking I'm going to take Kyle Lowry's job.
Yeah, but then you're gonna have two guards that kind of can't stay healthy. You know what I mean? It's almost like having that Kemba and Derrick Rose connection in New York. You have two guards that's almost similar style, but both of them can't stay healthy. So, that would be a kind of inconsistent backcourt if he take him down Miami. I think he'd be a good fit down Miami, but
I think Milwaukee's actually probably the best. I think that's probably the best situation. Another one too that I would look at as well is Denver.
That's what I was literally about to say.
Yeah, that would be one of those two. One of those two. I would definitely that if I'm Jalen, if I'm Kemba, I'm looking at those two.
Fair enough. No Charlotte return in Kemba's future.
I say if he can't find a team, I'm just
saying he would only play like 15 minutes. Like he not really getting no. He wouldn't get no minutes like that.
I can see his jersey. I can see him sign like a 1-day contract down there just to say I finished my career. I can see that. But as far as trying to play down there, I don't see that.
Okay. And I think they are going to match whatever Bridges gets paid. So he's going to get maxed out, and he's restricted. So they'll max that. So, yeah, that's fair as far as the minutes and time and all that. Really quick.
Because I don't think that Kemba's done. Like, I think the Knicks did him dirty. And he was playing well at the beginning of the season. So I don't understand. Like, I didn't understand what they were doing. So I definitely think he's still got something left in the tank. So he would definitely be an asset to a team. And he's a good locker room guy. He doesn't, he's professional. He's not going to, cause any trouble, cause any problems. So he'll definitely get signed by another team.
I think he still got a lot of instant scoring left in him.
Also, he got something left. You saw what he put.
Washington to use a point guard.
Yeah,
so I think he lose a lot of things.
Just relax, man.
But again, we said he wants to go to we said he wants to go to a contending team, so that kind of eliminates Washington.
Or he could be a starter because he was starting DC.
Anybody can start DC.
You done?
That's my last one. That's my last one.
Man, hey, hit the shots because you sure are empty in the clip, boy.
I know, right, man.
Hit the shots, man.
Boy, I'm just saying though, man. Anybody can
just drafted Nikola Jovic, I think is his name. He's all right. Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, what's up with Ty Washington? I'm surprised he hasn't been.
I'm surprised nobody picked him up yet.
I like him.
Well, I don't know, but we will see what happens. He's fallen.
He might be a stash though. The Miami. They'll stash a guy in the section.
Nah, he's all right. I mean, they may still stash him, but I've leading up to this, we heard, I've kind of heard about them, and we should still be on since Miami's on the clock when the champion Golden State Warriors make their pick.
Now this guy.
Boy, I ain't never heard you get so hyped for Golden State.
Right, you
boy. Let me find out you. Let me find out you got that Freddie fever.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why, because you wasn't on Monday. We had this huge debate about Steph Curry being the all-time great point guard.
Oh, so damn!
This is why he's caping up for the Warriors. So that explains.
No. I've been a Chef fan for a long time. Okay. But
you sound just like Freddie. I think you bitten the Freddie apple or something, boy.
My Steph love is dedicated. I went all the way to Oakland just to see them play in Oracle before they tore it down. So my love is deep. But I am happy.
I need to see proof. What you did to me earlier? I need to see proof.
He picked them to lose in 7. But go ahead.
Yeah, my point exactly, Kenny.
I told y'all I went against my better. Oh, you went hit them. I got blinded, okay? It's not a proud moment. I went against my better judgment, and I'm sorry. It won't happen again. I knew Boston wasn't it. I said it. I kept saying it and saying it and saying it. And I finally gave them my support and love, and they folded like picnic chairs.
Kenny, didn't this guy give me a hard time when I said, all right, I'm getting off the Boston bus. I'm hopping on the Warriors bus right now because, I don't think Boston. Nah, man, you roll Boston this long time. You can't do that. And you won. Why not? I knew what the deal was. Boston, you ain't gonna go from sweeping the net. You had game 6 with Milwaukee. Then you went game 7 against Miami, who had no scoring star on that team. No, you ain't gonna tell me these guys got all this energy left. And they had a battle season. These guys started from 11th, and then they made it the 2nd. Then they went through that long playoff run. You think they got enough gas against Golden State, who love to play run and gun? I knew that experience was going to kick in. You was blinded by the Boston love. You got bit by. You probably drank that Boston water that some injury players kept drinking to come back into the games and stuff. And that's why you picked Boston. Just go ahead and accept defeat. It's okay.
I have.
What you call yourself? Raiding the Dawson? What you call yourself?
Stradamus.
You was wrong. Yeah.
You lost that title.
You lost that one, buddy.
Listen, every great player has a bad game.
Okay? Players mess up too.
So
now you Mike Epps. Now you Day Dev.
Yeah. So now I wasn't super excited. Ty gonna feel on end up in Golden State. He on the board. Pick is in. So we'll see what Golden State, the champions, do here. But
go ahead and say you're champions. Go ahead and say it. My champion Golden State Warriors.
I did say I was rooting for them. I just didn't think they would win.
In the war room?
You know that. Absolutely. You haven't seen Draymond, CJ, and Pat Bev are positioning for their next careers. And I could definitely see Draymond in that GM-ish role, coach role. I think he would do well there. Now he might piss off a lot of players.
I can see him being the next Charles Barkley too.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah, I think he's supremely talented.
He's real slick. He's real slick with the comeback. So I think he could definitely. And honestly, he already has a deal with TNT. So I think they are grooming him to be Charles' replacement because Charles did say once his contract was up, he was done.
Yeah. Warriors went Patrick Baldwin Jr. was the number 5 recruit in 2021.
He's supposed to be pretty good.
Is he? I'm not familiar with him. Went to Milwaukee. So, okay. It looks like another versatile big. It looks like he's about 6'10".
He's a big dude.
He can stretch the floor. Of course he can.
Right. Fits right in.
Yeah. to that role. So
man,
cool.
Ty. He could go. That could be because that's gonna be tough because Memphis did just trade DeAnthony Melton. So maybe they're opening up a spot for Ty for him there. But they already got what's the kid, the brother, as the backup to Ja. So he wouldn't really get any minutes.
Tyus Jones.
Tyus Jones, yeah.
So we would definitely.
There's only 3 picks left?
2, 30, 10, 29. Yeah, 29 and 30. So we do want to get into it. I know we're not going to go back through the Steph Curry hate. Dave, you need to go back and watch last week. They was hating on Steph hard.
Yeah, you got to watch Monday.
Y'all was hating on. All right, man. I'm gonna go ahead and jump on Ray's side real quick, man. Steph should be in the conversation. You said what happened?
They said he might be better than Gary Payton.
Dang, right? I mean, Kenny.
Okay, let me summarize it for you real quick, Dave. Let me summarize it for you real quick, Dave. Our position was because he was talking about that Steph Curry is basically right behind Magic in terms of what you said, number 1? Yeah, he had him. Yeah, he had him as the greatest point guard of all time. And I said my issue with naming Steph Curry an all-time great point guard is you can't be an all-time great point guard and you're in the 50s all-time in assists.
Yeah, he got a little stat on you right there, Ray. You know what I mean?
You can't be number 1.
What is the job of the point guard?
It's to run the offense.
And what is the end goal of the offense?
Who's the point guard on Golden State?
What is the end guard? What is the end result?
They got multiple point guards, you would say Draymond runs the offense.
So who's the point guard?
Steph is the point guard.
So we are rating him as a point guard.
He's a
point guard. The goal is to get the ball to whoever's going to put the basket in the hole, right?
Or run the offense.
Get the ball.
You can't just be down here and be like, you know what? I'm gonna call my number real quick. I'm gonna just.
Why not? That's
you know what I mean.
If I'm better than Kenny, why am I gonna pass Kenny the ball?
It's still a team game, right?
Yeah, and I'm gonna pass it and you give it back because I'm better than you.
But all right, now if that's the offense, then yes,
that's the case, then you should shoot every time.
You're running the offense.
Steph does shoot a whole bunch.
No,
because he's the shooter though.
No. I can't every time because I got to get the defense off me. So I got other players and I'll get them involved. I'll average 5 or 6 assists a game, which is solid.
6.
But I'm scoring 30. I'm not Magic scoring 12 with 13 assists.
Chill.
You know what I'm saying?
Average like 18. You gotta stop.
But if I'm playing with 6 Hall of Famers, you can't double me when I got the greatest scorer of all time on my team. So I just throw the ball to the greatest scorer of all time and I get a bunch of assists. That's cheat code.
Oh my gosh.
I played with Kareem almost my whole career.
Well, you can kind of almost say Draymond got cheat code then.
Hello. That's the case.
Draymond is getting into the Hall of Fame because of Steph. I agree with you. If Draymond did not play in Golden State, he would not be a Hall of Fame.
Average 19.5 points a game. But continue.
All right, so maybe so he'll have a 19,
20 and 10 for his career.
20 and 10.
Go ahead.
So that's 30 points. 20 and 10 assists. That's
maybe
40 points.
Maybe 50.
That ain't 50. Not back then. They wouldn't shoot things like that. So Steph is going to be responsible for it, and their offense is one in which a lot of people get the hockey assist. So he's not just going pick and roll, throwing at the one person. The ball's moving. So there could be a couple different people with assists because that's how the offense functions. That's not a slight to Steph. Steph is Steph.
I think it is a slight to Steph because if he was that guy that was able. Oh, there
Memphis
you go.
took Ty.
Yeah, good. If he was that guy that could, they wouldn't have to run the offense
it's a
with all
proposed
those
trade though, so he might be going to Houston.
Oh, that does say proposed trade to Houston.
Yeah, I think that's part of the 3-team deal. I think they just flashed it that that's part of the for Christian Wood. I think that's part of that Christian Wood deal.
Okay.
I think. If I read it right, yeah.
Because Wood went to Dallas. So how does Memphis involved in that?
So it's Memphis, Dallas, and Minnesota. I think that's what it was. Hold on, I know Woj got it, so let me see, so I can see it.
Okay,
so that's right.
But my point being, and we don't got to stay there. If y'all want to have Magic first, it was just the disrespect. They was like, and we don't even know if Steph's in the top 3. Is he top 5? Just crazy talk.
And he was saying like Gary Payton, like it's a no-brainer that he's better than Gary Payton.
He is a no-brainer better than Gary Payton. Kenny tried to bring up John Stockton.
He about to punch the screen.
Like, I like the glove. The glove was cool. The glove was cool with Rain Man and Detlef Shrimp and them. Like, that's cool.
But he ain't man, top 10 all-time in assists.
Okay. And Reggie Miller was a really good number 2. But Michael Jordan's way better than Reggie Miller. Like, there's levels to greatness. And GP was great. But he wasn't Steph. That's all I'm saying.
It ain't that far apart to me.
Okay. We disagree. What
you think? What you think, Dev? In terms of as an all-time for as a point guard, where's Steph in your rankings for in terms of all-time great point guards?
He's top 5. He's most definitely top 5 in my ranking.
I'm sorry, who'd you say is top 5?
Steph. Who's my top 5?
Okay.
Steph is my top 5. I got him now. I got him over GP, Ray. Before you ready catch a hissy fit, I got him over GP. I can argue with you with that. You know, I'm with you on that one. You know, GP. I think if GP were to get a couple more chips, then maybe it can be a different conversation. And plus, they was different players. GP was more of a defensive guard, and he can put you in the post. Versus, you know, Steph is
and defensively it's
no comparison when it comes to defense. You know, and Steph, he's the all-time great shooter. Let's give him his respect on that. Mm-hmm. Steph can also do things that a lot of guards can't do. Steph don't keep still, and it's a lot of guards that get to that spot and sit still, be flat-footed. And all that, and for Steph to have great conditioning, you know, they move around, to be able to still shoot at a high clip, and not only he can shoot, he can also get into the paint when he wants to, and he just showed us that he can rebound the ball also. So, you know, Steph is no slouch. So I got him over GP. Now GP he did was a good rebounding guard also too. But I still got Steph over top of GP only because of certain accolades that GP didn't accomplish in his career. Far as him, I still have Jason Kidd over top of Steph. I understand, Ray, but Jason, if you look at Jason Kidd game, Jason Kidd made a lot of. He was a true point guard. He made a lot of people around him. You know what I mean? A little bit better. And he didn't have the best. Better. He didn't have the best talent at times. And you know, Jason Kidd, was also playing in the era where Grant Hill was at the peak of his prime. Because you know, both of them are sharing, Cole Rookie of the Year. Because during that time we didn't know who was better at that time. Was it going to be Jason Kidd or Grant Hill? Barring injury, but Grant Hill could probably, would have been a top player in the NBA. But I still hold Jason Kidd just because of he did do one thing that Steph didn't do yet. He got a gold medal. he actually competed, around the world to show.
Steph won one.
No, Steph ain't got a medal. That's the one thing Steph don't have.
This kid got 2 though, I think.
Yeah. So
Steph don't have no gold medal.
So you're telling me that we're now using the Olympics?
No, I'm not just using the Olympics. I'm not just using the Olympics.
What are we doing?
Jason Kidd do have something that Steph doesn't have, though.
And Steph has a unanimous MVP that no one has.
And I give him that.
Oh, he won in the World Championships. He did win in the World Championships, though. Yeah, he won a gold medal in the World Championships, so we're gonna give him some love on that. There's no Olympics.
There's no Olympic gold medals. But like I said, Steph is all-time top 5, my opinion. I haven't put him in number 1. I'm not gonna put him over Magic.
Never.
Not you know what I mean?
Never.
That's Kenny on the never part. You know what I mean?
He got to break into top 25 if he's gonna pass Magic. And that ain't happening.
So Steph's not. Oh, you're talking about an assist.
An assist. And if Steph so happened to pick up an assist, then what, Kenny?
He not moving no 25 spots in 2 or 3 years. I'm sorry.
But the fact that he's gonna just set the 3-point record out of this world, that don't matter.
It matters. That makes him a great guard. Or make him a great point guard.
He is a point guard. You can't take that away from him.
Makes him a great guard. Don't make him a great point guard.
He puts the ball in the basket. I don't know what else you want.
It makes him a great guard, but it doesn't make him a great point guard.
2-time scoring champ, Steph Curry. Like
you could say that and I'll keep saying that makes him a great. You just keep on saying things that makes him a great guard. That doesn't make him a great point guard.
So you can't be a great point guard without assists. That's your stance.
Yes, you cannot. That is my stance, and I will die on that hill. In the words of Mike. In the words of what's Mike's last name? I just forgot his last name that quick, but I'll die on that hill. You can't be a great point guard and not be an assist guy. It's just my opinion.
Well, that is where we significantly disagree. And that's fine. That's fine. But we do have a ranking, one more ranking from best to worst. We'll rank from the best to the worst out of James Worthy, Carmelo Anthony, and Kevin Durant. I'm willing to start. I just saw, but we can do it.
We can do it.
We can do it. It should be quick. For me, it's in the reverse order of what I just said. It's KD, Carmelo, and James Worthy. If y'all haven't figured this out yet, if you were on a dynasty team on those Celtics or Lakers teams,
you a hater, man.
I discount what you accomplished, because if all you ever did was play with 2 of the greatest players of all time, you should be pretty good. Show me when you led a team anywhere on your own. And no, none of those teams did it. Bird didn't do it nowhere. Magic didn't do it. So Worthy
for this one team.
That's okay. And so you have to carry that cross. You played on dynasties your whole career with multiple Hall of Famers, and that's great. It looks great in the stat sheet. It looks great with the rings. It looks great in the photos. But you cannot tell me that your job was as difficult as it was being someone like Allen Iverson. It's just not. And so I get you. There's about 10 other people I would have took over James Worthy, Kawhi Leonard being one. But you wouldn't take Kawhi Leonard over James Worthy?
No, I'm talking about the 10 people.
Yeah.
That one caught me by surprise, boy. Woo!
I would have to take some time and think through it. But as a wing, Dr. J's in that cat. Dr. J plays the same position.
Yes.
Like as far as small forwards, there's a bunch. I think Lamar's more of a power forward.
No way. Not Lamar. Get out of here.
Lamar, what?
Get out of here. Get out of here with that.
George Gervin was more of a 2 than a 3? Because if he's in that,
more of a 2.
So again, I can spend
you
some
think
time
about that and get back to us on that,
and
there's the answer for that.
There's a couple of people I would take.
A number. I need to hear this.
I'm not
save that for Monday. We'll save that for Monday.
Yeah,
like I'm riding with you with the order you in, but once you said the 10,
we already got 2. We already got 2.
You need 8 more.
Pippins are 3. We're not gonna do this right now. I got
save
3
for Monday.
easy. I got 10 easy, probably.
Okay. You ain't got it easy. You ain't got it. I ain't gonna contradict yourself in the same sentence.
It's probably 10. I'm trying to, think through it.
You said it was easy. You said it was easy.
If I didn't have to live stream this with y'all and get ready to get y'all opinions, by the end of the show, I probably could come up with 10. But I want to make sure I'm
hilarious.
Effective in my research to make sure I ain't tripping. I'm simply going to validate what I already know to be true.
You do that.
So you're just gonna go ahead and contradict yourself. I got 10 easy. Probably.
I'm very confident that there's 10 people. I just got to make sure I'm not wrong, and I could be. Ray Stralmas gets it wrong once every so often, but I'm very confident that there's 10 better small forwards than James Worthy.
Is LeBron in this conversation?
LeBron's a 3.
Mm-hmm.
Larry Bird's a 3. Like it's getting scary already.
No, it's not.
That's only 3. You got 7 more to go, sir.
So anyway, that's I got Worthy last, and then I got KD and Melo. Melo definitely like he ain't got no ring. I don't think he has an MVP, so he definitely Kevin Durant. Dev, I'll let you go, and then we can end with Kenny.
I like KD, Melo, and Worthy in that order. I ain't going this James Worthy like how you just did, boy. Like
it's not a
I ain't going this one. You know, I totally understand that he did play on an all-star team for a couple years.
The man was a Finals MVP.
You know what I mean? I give him. I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna give him some. Like I said, I'm not going to diss him how Ray was, because Ray was
disrespect.
Yeah, boy.
So do y'all you got James Worthy as a better small forward than Vince Carter? I just want to get an idea where y'all at.
Vince Carter was a 2 guard in my opinion.
Yeah, he's a 2.
Was McGrady? So McGrady was the 3 in that scenario?
No, I think he's a 2
because they played together. Somebody had to be the 3.
Who?
I think McGrady was more of a 2.
No.
Yeah. McGrady came off the bench
the whole time in Toronto. I thought before they left.
Vince was when he came.
No, that's why he got that big money in Orlando.
Yep.
Okay. Paul Pierce just.
I don't put him over top of but I'm not gonna put him over top of James Worthy.
You're not putting Paul Pierce over James Worthy, who beat the Lakers and beat Kobe in the finals.
No, that's one of the reasons why I ain't taking him.
James Worthy is way better than Paul Pierce defensively, and they're very, and I would say scoring wise, it's not that they're not that far apart. Well, it's not even close defensively. James Worthy is a really good defender. He guarded Larry Bird.
So I guess he taking Paul Pierce. I guess he was going to try to sneak Paul Pierce.
He was trying to sneak him in there.
I'm thinking Paul Pierce, Paul George, all of them.
Paul George, get out of here. Let's go. Let's move on.
Kenny, you ranking them.
Yeah, let's rank them so we can get out of here. All right, I got KD number 1. I got James Worthy number 2. And then I got Melo number 3. And this is me, a Knicks fan, who's a Carmelo Anthony. I love Carmelo Anthony. He's close.
Based on what his defense?
His defense, his shot making, his ability to score, his post. Like
you cannot tell me you believe James Worthy is on the same playground as Melo as a scorer.
Have you watched James Worthy play?
I have. Have you watched Carmelo play? Kobe Bryant said that was his hardest cover.
Did you think that James Worthy was an easy cover?
I ain't saying it was easy. I ain't saying it was Carmelo either.
The only thing Melo had over him was range. James Worthy could face up. James Worthy could shoot. James Worthy could post.
Yeah, you can do all the same stuff. That don't mean
James
you do
Worthy
it well.
could finish. James Worthy could do everything except shoot the 3-ball. That's the only thing Melo had over him was the 3-ball.
So you think
he could do all the things that Melo could do except for the 3-ball,
and he could do them better, or he could do them because there's a difference.
He could do them as well.
You crazy
as well. Hold on. See, let me just fact check right quick.
Boy,
because I'm almost sure
it's like I'm over here watching a tennis match. Y'all just going back and forth.
You tripping.
I mean, again, imagine if Melo got to play with Magic and Kareem, he'd probably put up some crazy stats too.
20. Wait, let me see. Let me check.
James Worthy, I got average 17.6 for a career.
Yeah, 20 point. And you look at these 5 years of 20, 19, 19, 20, 21, 21, 19.9. That's 6 years of averaging 20. Knock it off, man.
So what is Carmelo?
And that's with Magic and Kareem.
Well, we know Magic couldn't have score anyway.
Magic out of 20 a night, man. Good night. Good night, y'all.
Everybody just averaged 20.
Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate y'all.
Goodness gracious. Hey, these old school guys, man, y'all got to let it go.
No, y'all, you young cats, man, got to do y'all research. You tripping, man. Y'all think this new generation is it. Gotta go back.
Not all of them,
man.
Oh, and Giannis is a small forward, right? Or is he a power forward?
He's a power forward.
Man, we just keep moving these goalposts. But all right, that's fine.
Yeah, he's a 4. Come on, man. You know, he's 6'11". He's a 4.
All right.
But hold on then. That means we gotta take KD out the conversation then, because KD is 6'10", 6'11".
But he plays more of a 3 than he is a 4. So
Giannis don't play in the post like a 4 either, but I'm gonna let him have it.
As much as Bobby Portis people at the basket, are you kidding me?
That's just because he's physical, but he plays more of a 3 role than a 4 role. That's what Bobby Portis is for.
Bobby Portis don't start.
Right.
He plays starters minutes. He get more minutes than whoever the number 2 is in Milwaukee.
Yeah, and Middleton plays a 3.
I thought Middleton plays a 2.
At the end of the game,
Middleton plays a 3. You had Grayson Allen starting at the 2, and it was
starting at the 2. But check Grayson Allen's minutes. Bobby
Portis.
My
point is that
at the end of the game, Giannis is playing the 3.
Of that starting crew, you got Drew Holiday, whoever it is at the 2, whether it's Grayson Allen or whoever they plug into that spot. Then you got Chris Middleton, Giannis, and then Blake. Brook Lopez.
So where's Bobby Portis? Because Bobby Portis was finished.
Come off the bench.
I know. I'm not talking about starting.
I'm saying
at the end of the game, Giannis is playing the 3.
He's not always finishing the game, though. I don't. It's because sometimes you have what's the other kid?
Lopez wasn't even
Connaughton. Sometimes you have Connaughton in there finishing the game. So I think he's playing more 4 than he is 3.
All right.
You got the whole weekend. You got the whole weekend.
I mean, I'm just going to keep trying to, play around with y'all rules and these names. And like I said, having them over Melo is just nuts. And saying they're comparable offensive players.
But you're only looking at one side of the court. Melo
that's all I'm talking about. I agree. James Worthy. But if we're going to talk both ways, then I'm taking PG and Kawhi because I think they were better offensively and defensively combinations than James Worthy.
Not me.
Truth be told, I'll probably take Andre Iguodala. I think they're
good night. Good night. I gotta go.
You crazy.
I gotta go. I gotta go. Good night, y'all.
Kenny, it's been a pleasure.
I look forward to touching base. I don't want to be on camera for this. I don't want people associating me with these thoughts.
I can't believe he just said
this man said Andre Iguodala is better than James.
Are you going to disrespect Iggy? Offense and defense, Finals MVP. Finals MVP.
Please, whoever is in production, please keep the tape of this.
Keep the tape.
We need to come back
and
revisit this. This man said Andre Iguodala.
Andre Iguodala.
He ain't never gonna make nobody's Hall of Fame.
He's not a Hall of
Famer.
Famer.
Hall of Famer.
You just said Andre Iguodala is not a Hall of Famer.
In what world?
In this world, how is he
in
not?
What world? Doing what? For
How is
basketball?
Draymond a Hall of Fame and Andre Iguodala isn't?
In college? We're talking about college?
What?
We're not talking about pro Hall of Fame, right?
You're talking about the LeBron stopper?
Good night. I got to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much. Y'all have a great one. We will be back on Monday at 9. Please tune in for this educational moment that will take place about
lack
basketball.
of education.
Have a great evening, everybody.
Hall Sports All Plays. Yeah. Hall Sports All Plays. Hall Sports All Plays.